Hello, welcome to Nate Netflix. I am Nate. You are you. And Blumhouse has really been slow rolling us Halloween fans as far as any sort of news, teasers, trailers regarding Halloween Ends. I actually kind of appreciate it. I admire it, if anything, in this modern age. And we don't really need it anyway, because let's face it, us Halloween fanboys and girls, we don't need much to stoke the fandom flames. We will come up with all sorts of fan theories and conjecture with next to nothing to go off of. And so in the spirit of that just frenzied fandom, I decided let's play a game today, which I would like to call Life or the Knife, in which we look at the returning characters who will likely be in Halloween Ends, and we try to decide that when those end credits hit, who will still be alive and who will fall victim to Michael Myers' knife. So be sure to play along. Let me know your takes on my takes. Let me know who you think is going to die and who is going to live. But here we go. Contestant number 1, Sheriff Barker. It's Knife, right? There's no way this guy can live. Think about his contributions to this story so far. Halloween 2018, what did he give us? What did he do? Well, he was nothing more than a lazy contrivance, a tool for the writers to explain why Michael Myers was able to do his thing, and why there are so many victims out there just seemingly unaware. This guy is in control of a town that is under the constant shadow of a notorious serial killer who did his business on Halloween night. And now this guy knows that very killer is out. He's in this town, and it is what? Halloween night. So what does he do? Does he put out any sort of statement? Anything? Does he bar trick-or-treating? Does he bar parties? Does he do any of that? No. He gives us this inept little, what you want me to do? Cancel Halloween? Yes, Barker. Yes, that is what we would like you to do. Does he get any better in Halloween Kills? No, pretty damn inept and useless there too, because in an act of futility, he tries to put a stop to the mayhem at the hospital, and what happens? Well, tragedy still ensues, and Barker's left with his stomped-on cowboy hat, sitting in a stairwell, looking all sad and lonesome, all but smacking his knee with his cowboy hat, being like, oh man, fucking Michael Myers, he's taking everything I work for. And he is. So all that's really left for this character, should he come back in Halloween Ends, is to maybe not even be a sheriff anymore, to be completely disgraced and to have lost his position. He's no longer a pillar of the community. He's no authority figure. Nobody respects the Barker name, and he wants to try to make right. He wants to play hero, so he inserts himself in a situation that somehow sees him one-on-one with Michael Myers. So here we have Sheriff Barker, a man who couldn't stop civilians and nurses at a hospital, versus Michael Myers, who we just saw take out a force of firefighters in John Wickian-like fashion. What do you think is going to happen? Life or the knife? It's the knife. Would contestant number 2 stand right up? It is Lindsey Wallace. Life or knife? A lot of you people have espoused a lot of love for Kyle Richards and this Lindsey Wallace character, this version of her. I get it. She was the best legacy player in Halloween Kills. But is that really saying that much? Yes, she had nice presence. But what ultimately is gained by having her still alive when those end credits come? I don't know. Is she really that important to the story? Does she do anything for this story's thematics? Do we need her there? I don't think so. I think she's more serviceable in death, sadly, because it is a slasher movie. You need a body count. She can definitely supply that. But also, she brings more stakes than just Barker or some random we don't even know of yet. So you could have that happen in the first act or the second act. You could have another chase. You could improve upon the chase she was in Halloween Kills, and that could be fun, and that could be tense and suspenseful, and it could show that, look, you may be able to evade Michael Myers that one chase, that one moment, but you're not going to be able to continue to do that and have success, and that could be a nice little thing to do and include it in your movie and get you set up for Act 3, where you have the characters we actually do need to see facing off against Michael in the clutch time. Unfortunately for Lindsey Wallace, I just don't think that she is that individual. So, life or knife? Lindsey Wallace gets the knife. So far, 2 up, 2 down, 2 dead. What about Sheriff Hawkins? Now, this seems to be a divisive character when people talk about projecting his role in this movie. Some people say, he's of course going to die. And other people are like, no, he's positioned for great things. He's going to be like a real hero, which I understand because he is the basis for that big flashback everybody loves so much in Halloween Kills, because they wanted to show why Michael Myers has such a hold on him and why he's racked with so much guilt. And pretty much it boils down to he accidentally took his friend's life trying to take down Michael Myers, which is why I am going to say, not life, knife. I think that ultimately Hawkins is going to end up giving his life in order to allow Allyson or Laurie Strode to progress to that third act for that final showdown with Michael Myers. I think Michael's going to have the upper hand on one of those Strode women, and Hawkins is going to do something to let them go a little bit longer. It's going to be a nice, grisly moment, and hopefully a proper send-off for this character that I think a lot of us fans have some respect for. I mean, the dude's contributing a lot. I mean, the recent pictures of Laurie Strode looks like she's had a glow up, that she's really come to terms with things. She's trying to enjoy her golden years and let go of all of the just vengeance and hatred and fear that has governed her for 40-something years. And he has to be a big part of that. Looks like they will probably have a relationship going in that. But unfortunately, if you got the final girl, you may not necessarily need the final man. It's a knife. All right, we're down to our big three, if you will, with Allyson, Michael, and Laurie. So let's start with the littlest name of the big three. Let's talk about Allyson. Now, there's all sorts of rumors. I mean, just rumors galore about what is going to go down with Allyson. I recently did a video about that. Now, a lot of fans think she may be poised for some sort of Halloween 4-like twist where she has this turn like Jamie and she ends up picking up the knife and driving it into her grandmother, Laurie Strode. I don't see that happening. I can lay out the case, and it's fun to talk about. And I think something is in store for Allyson, though I may not know exactly what. And I think you will see all sorts of tension and conflict between her and Laurie Strode because, like I said, Laurie looks like she's living her best life, or at least she's trying to, with Hawkins. And she seems more at peace than she has been in the last 40 years, whereas Allyson is in it. And her whole reality is just wrecked and distorted by Michael Myers in the events of 2018. She's lost her mother, her father, her boyfriend, her friends. Her whole life has just been imploded. The only person she has left is Laurie Strode, who all of her life, Allyson's known Laurie Strode to be one way, and that is Michael Myers centered, just based in all things boogeyman. And all of a sudden, she's going to be flippant and not care and be like, I'm just trying to live my life while I can. You can't live like that, honey. You got to let it go. I can see why that would really perturb this Allyson character. So yes, they are going to have issues. They're going to have a strained relationship. Things may get heavy at times, but I don't think it's going to get so crazy she drives a knife into Laurie. She may get to drive the knife into Michael at some point, and Michael may get to drive a knife into Allyson. I am really torn on this character. I think this is the hardest one to predict. I think it's a coin toss, but I'm going to say that Allyson lives because we don't know what the future holds for this franchise. We don't know what they're going to want to set up, if anything. Yes, this seals the deal on the Blumhouse trilogy, but you never know if behind closed doors they have discussions going on for more Halloween or a spinoff of some sort or a TV series. And if so, you would need a young character that fans like, and that's Allyson. So because I'm wishy-washy, that's enough to push me over into Allyson does live. It seems like they've kind of been setting herself up for something since the first movie. We never quite got there, so hopefully we will end this final movie. Not knife, it is life for Allyson. So then what about Allyson's grandma, the woman she's apparently going to have beef with, according to old Nate? What about Laurie Strode? Life or knife? I am going to say, if you'll just hold for 1 second, do you remember Jamie Lee Curtis telling us all that this movie's going to F us up and that it's going to divide the fan base and, you know, it's going to really challenge you and stuff like that? What could she mean by that? Well, I think JLC probably sees the franchise a little bit differently than a lot of us fans. I think in her mind, she constantly has fans come up and tell her how amazing she is and how thankful they are and grateful that she keeps coming back. And you have media members who kiss her butt and tell her how wonderful she is and that she is this franchise. So I think in her mind, if something were to happen to Laurie and she were to be disposed of, she thinks that that would really leave some fans butthurt and that would really break our hearts. When I think a lot of us would be like, no, that's kind of what I'm hoping for. So I think that could be what she was alluding to with those comments. And so therefore I'm going to say that Laurie Strode gets the knife. And I think this could be done in a really, really touching, fantastic manner if they play their cards right. To me, you should have some sort of confrontation between the Shape and Laurie. And, you know, Laurie looks like she's dying. She's wounded Michael or killed Michael. And she looks like she's going to give in as well. She is mortally wounded, and it's only a matter of time. She is sitting there, propped up, holding her wounds, blood just pouring out of her. The sun is coming up, November 1st. She has survived, and Halloween has ended. I think that would be a nice fitting end to the Laurie Strode character. I'm going to say knife, not life. And then, of course, that leaves the big bad, the boogeyman, the Shape, Michael Myers. Kind of alluded to right there. So, yeah. You know, Halloween ends. I feel like it's right there in the title. Ends. It has to end. Michael Myers is Halloween. Halloween cannot end if Michael Myers is out still doing his thing. They can't even do a cutesy, ambiguous type of ending that is a callback to the original because they already used that up in Halloween 2018 where he was trapped in that fiery basement and it looked like a triumph for the Strode women. You have no idea how he's going to get out. He's sitting there looking badass, defiantly staring up the steps as the Inferno starts to engulf him. And then in the end credits, you hear his breathing, which suggests you can't vanquish evil completely. And Michael is still out there in some capacity. That was awesome. That was kick-ass. I loved it, but you can't do that type of ending and then do it yet again, recycle it just 2 movies later. So you have to have a definitive ending. Halloween ends. Michael is Halloween. Michael ends. I do think Laurie Strode and co., they deliver some sort of death blow to Michael. Things may get wacky and twisty from there. Who knows what happens, but I do think we will see Michael Myers die in this movie. I do not think he will walk off into the ether like a lot of fans want. I think a lot of you want a Michael Myers victory. You want a victory for evil, and I would suggest to you that that movie was Halloween Kills. Halloween Ends will be a different type of film. So there you go. That is how I see things. Those are the fates I see for these 6 characters. How do you do it? How are you dishing out the life and the knife here? How are you playing this game? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, then hey man, thanks. I really appreciate it. If you could hit subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. We are on the track for 1,000. Let's get there. Let's get her done. On that though, I do have one big ask for you. Have a great day. I'm Nate for Nate Merflick saying that's a wrap.